Hello, Amelia here, and I've got my dog Naya here in the corner. um, she's sleeping, so she might be moving around a bit. So I am an entrepreneur and a mentor who helps leaders become less impacted by stuff going on around them. So that means that they get to stay calm, they get to think clearly, they get to stay really present despite what's going on around them. And I wanted to share some examples of what that's looked like for me in this past month, because people can talk about, oh, I want to become less reactive. I want to be less triggered. I want to not take things personally, but they don't really share what that means. So I wanted to give 3 examples of something that I've done and things that I'm proud of that I've done for this past month. So the first one was my boyfriend had a very exciting job interview. He was going to essentially double his salary, and he was excited about it because it had been delayed for a couple months, and then it finally happened, and he was going through with it. And I asked him the night before it happened, I was like, do you want to talk about it? Do you need anything? He's like, no, just let me be. So just let him be. The next morning he called me, and he was on the phone, and he was making breakfast and he was getting ready for work, and he was saying things that didn't sound like him. He was short in ways that he's not usually, just short and frustrated with things frying. He was cursing, and he was just being tense and saying stuff that his relaxed and healthy and balanced self doesn't say. So after talking to him a little bit and just seeing if he needed help at all with what he was going through, and I was trying to position it in a couple ways just to help him out. He wasn't interested in it, so I just asked him, like, hey, are you doing okay right now? And he was like, I'm stressed out. I've got to do this interview. We're going to have to move. So he and his sister lived together, and they were going to have to move. And so he was just stressed out about everything that was going on. Plus, then you add the job interview, and it was nice for me to not get frustrated when he was short and tense and saying things that he doesn't say when he's calm and balanced. So that was nice for me to say, like, or recognize that he had something going on, and I was able to recognize that and then ask him about it and learn the things that were going on with him that was causing him to be that way. And if I had gotten frustrated with him or become short with him or pushed him emotionally, said something like, well, you shouldn't be saying these things to me, you shouldn't be cursing around me, you shouldn't be, or shaming him for that, that could have caused him to have more frustrations with the job interview. And he had the job interview and called me after, and he was so much he sounded happier, and he sounded much more calm and like his old self, because he was less stressed. So I was just so grateful that I was able to recognize that he had something going on, and it didn't mean that I had to make it something like, how dare he talk to me? I didn't have to make it something that was going to throw him off later on. And that's what it looks like when you're non-reactive to things. You're able to see something going on around you and go, there's something off here, and just dig into it a little bit. And then the answer shows itself. It's like, oh, this is what's going on, rather than me being frustrated about how dare someone talk to me, how frustrated I am that my partner's pissed when he's got all this stuff going on, that stuff that I knew about at the time, plus the other stuff that I learned about later. So that is one example of something that I did. And it feels really good to not take things personally, because it allows him to go through what he's frustrated about So it allows him to release the frustration versus if I got frustrated and he's frustrated, that doesn't end up well, usually. Like two frustrated people talking to each other don't usually lead to a calm and balanced situation. It's like, okay, if one person can keep their cool, recognize what was going on, the whole situation can get better. So that was the first. The second was that I did not hit my numbers that I wanted for business last month. And I didn't make it about getting really frustrated with the business. I didn't start thinking this is never going to work. I didn't start looking for other business opportunities like I'd done in the past, even when someone was asking me if I was interested in this other business. I didn't go down that route. So I was staying calm and confident and not having to run away from the situation, not feeling like this isn't ever going to work, doubting myself, doubting my abilities, being frustrated with the people not signing up. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just like, okay, there's something going on here. And just looking at where I was at with that, not getting frustrated and putting that frustration onto the business. So the business can just keep running without me going like, well, fuck this business. I don't want to do this, or being upset with it and feeling like it's never giving to me, or all the stories that we can tell ourselves. So I was just able to sit and look at that and go, okay, I didn't get the numbers that I wanted. Let's reset. Let's focus on what could I be doing differently? How can I be sabotaging myself here? So like, what thoughts am I thinking? How am I feeling? What am I saying in these videos? So working on that, and I realized I need to be a lot more clear in the videos. I need to set different expectations. I need to be more clear with what I'm looking for. So that was really good for me to see. And then that can lead me to figure out different results going forward. Because if I keep doing the same thing and just being frustrated with that, that doesn't allow me to change what needs to be changed. So some people will realize something's not working. They're not getting the numbers. They're not getting the results. They're not happy with where the business is at. And then they'll just shut it down and say, oh, that didn't work. And either move on to the next business or move on and and just keep doing the same patterns and not going like, okay, that didn't work. Let me look at what actually isn't working at the business level and look at the numbers, look at what I'm saying, look at what my product is doing, look at how everything that's going on, rather than just being frustrated with it. And that is stopping me from actually making it and looking at how I can be more effective with the business overall. So that's the second thing I'm proud of. So taking my frustration with the business off the plate so I can look at the business as to what's actually going on, rather than me being frustrated and looking at the business and looking at what's going on when I'm frustrated with the business, because those two lenses are going to be very different. And if you can learn how to take your frustration off the table and look at the business constructively, this is how healthy businesses are built. So very proud of myself in that way. Second way. Third way happened yesterday. For those of you who don't know, I love playing volleyball. And I've been playing volleyball for years. I grew up swimming. I played golf in college. So I've always loved being outside and playing sports. But so volleyball is a team sport, and my team wasn't doing really well. And we played 6 games in over 2 hours. And my team kept beating themselves. And that means hitting the balls out of bounds, hitting the balls into the net, not passing well. So the balls are going all over and people can't make it, can't hit the ball in time. So it's the structure wasn't there. It wasn't well organized. And everyone is getting frustrated because it's not fun to beat yourself. It's not fun that you're losing and you are the reason that you are losing. especially when you have the capability to do better. And I recognized all of my team members were frustrated, and I'm there trying to be encouraging. And at the same time, and the second to last game, so the fifth game, I realized actually throughout the day, I had been playing pretty well. I'd been passing pretty well. My hitting was pretty good. My setting was pretty good. And I was able to look back and say, despite everyone who was frustrated, everyone who had a bad attitude, everyone who wasn't playing well on my team, 5 of that, when there's 5 people doing that on my team, and I still am able to sit there, be positive, play well, that shows a lot of mental strength, because I'm not going into this crowd mindset of everyone's playing well or everyone's playing poorly. I'm going to play poorly too. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going down that route. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to look at what I'm playing on and just focus on that and be in my own little world. And I had a good time. And I was able to play well. And at the end of the day, I had someone say that, you were the best player on the team consistently. So that was nice to hear, because it just shows that whatever else is going on around you, you don't have to be, you don't have to have that determine what you are doing. And it's really nice to see that when it comes to business, when it comes to your partners, when it comes to whatever you're doing, this work that I teach, learning how to be less reactive, learning how to be calm when shit's going wrong, is so powerful, because it allows me to be myself. It allows me to be a very powerful person in the room. And it stops me from sabotaging myself over and over and over again. So that I just wanted to share that to people who are like, what does it look like when you don't sabotage yourself? What does it look like when you do this? Because I used to do those things all the time. When my team wasn't playing well, I would not play well. When my partner would get frustrated, I would get frustrated. When my business wasn't doing well, I would want to quit. So it's nice to see the shifts that this can do, and how internally strong people can be without having to think about, I'm going to be internally strong. I'm going to be internally strong. I'm just doing it. I've learned the skills, and then those skills that I've learned, and I'm now not have to think about it. So it's just operating. Like I said, it's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you can ride a bike and eat a popsicle. I've done that several times. You ride a bike, you can eat a popsicle, and you can eat the popsicle because you know how to ride the bike so well, you don't have to think about it. That's operating just on autopilot. It's the same with these skills that I teach. Once you learn how to do that, they just get on autopilot. So you don't have to be, so I wasn't thinking the whole time, I need to be positive. Who's the player I want to be? What do I want right now? I'm like, no, I'm, maybe realized had a bit of a bad attitude, and then I pulled myself out of it. And then that was the outcome. So, for all of you who want to be an amazing leader, who want to be the best person you can be for your team, for your impact, for your idea to bloom, which is going to be necessary for your idea to bloom, this is an amazing route to get there. And I would love to talk to you more if you're ready to step into that power and become the person that you were born to be, to lead well, to continually find the next level of freedom within yourself so you can keep growing. I offer a free 30-minute call if you're ready to step into that. My website's ameliaharshfield.com. You can click on the connect page, and that is, fill out that. We'll take a deep dive. Not everyone's right for my work, and I don't take on every client. But please only do that if you're ready for this, ready for the change, ready to step into the power. So thank you for listening. Living a life that you are unaffected by everything else around you is so powerful. It's so calming, and you can achieve the things you've always wanted to achieve. It just takes you getting there. So wanted to share that. And I will talk to you on the next video.